Been talking about this, the stick work, right? The dirty stick play. Marchand sticked a guy in the groin the other night in the nether region, and then Sidney Crosby cut a guy's finger off. Star players using the slashing and gashing stick work. Dirty play with the stick. I think he reminds me of, and Carver High said this to me off air. I like compare him to Claude Lemieux, the dirty player that played and won so many cups, and was so dangerous in the postseason. The guy was just an absolute savage in the postseason in the Stanley Cup playoffs. He was one of the greatest players ever. He's not as dirty as Lemieux, without a doubt. And Marchand scores a lot more and has more talent. But did anyone score more clutch, dangerous, violent goals in the Stanley Cup's history than Claude Lemieux? The guy was a backbreaker. He was a killer. The guy was an assassin. Not only would he cut your throat, he would score a goal to beat you. I think Marchand is that guy. So I don't actually, Andrew, personally, obviously in the playoffs you have to be smarter. You can't get in fights, and you can't get thrown out of a game for spearing a guy in the jewels. But I'll say this about him. He's your most, I think he and Bergeron are your most lethal snipers, right, on the team. So they can't afford to have him thrown out of games, but he is, without a doubt, their most important, dangerous player on the ice, scoring-wise and leadership-wise. And he's like a mosquito. He's painful. He's a great player. There's no doubt about it. I don't even think, I truly don't believe he'll be thrown out of playoff games. I think he's smarter than that. He got thrown out of a game that didn't even matter. They were on fire. They were going to make the playoffs either way. They say that spearing usually leads to fines and not suspensions. He's having a hearing tomorrow. I think the league knows, this is just my opinion, and I'll probably be wrong, but I think the league knows they need Andrew Marchand on the ice for the Bruins. I think they need Brad on the ice for the playoffs, and I don't think they're going to suspend him. I think they're going to give him a fine, but I could be wrong. But I think the league wants, believe it or not, I think they, at the start of the playoffs next week and going into Wednesday through the weekend and into the second week, I think they want their star players on the ice for all the teams. They do not want to have guys sitting in jail, in the NHL's proverbial suspension jail, for meaningless games that are late in the season that some guy gets stuck. They didn't give Crosby anything, and then Ottawa's all up in arms about it. Their owner is up in arms. Everybody's mad. I didn't hear as much of a crybaby response from Marchand's incident. I think life will go on just fine.